Good day, everyone. My name is Mabel Buret, and today I will be sharing with you an interesting legendary story. So, legends are important because they are not only entertaining, but they also explain traditions, values, and places or things around us. So the story that I will be discussing was entitled as the legendary of how the Philippines have 7,000 islands. Now, I know that some of you are familiar with this story, especially when you are that kid who's curious of the things and when you are that kid that live with your grandmother and grandfather. So, this legend is part of our rich cultural heritage and it gives us a glimpse of how our ancestors made sense of the world through imagination and storytelling. So, in this discussion, I will first give you a background of the author, followed by a summary of the story. Then, we will go deeper into the elements such as the characters, the setting, theme, symbolism, and most importantly, the moral lesson we can learn from it. And now, if you all wonder who is the author of this story, that is none. Because the story of why does the Philippines have 7,000 islands is considered a folk tale or alamat legend. Since it has been passed down through oral tradition, there is no specific known author. It belongs to the body of Philippine myths and legends that explain natural phenomena and the origins of the land. And now, the summary of the story is that long ago there was only a single large landmass surrounded by the great sky and water. And a huge prehistoric bird bored of flying in the same place, devised a plan to create more land where it could rest. It tricked both the sky and the water by telling them lies about each other, which led them to fight. The sky unleashed thunder, lightning, and heavy rains, while the water sent gigantic waves. So their clash weakened the great land until it broke into thousands of pieces. So by the time the sky and water realized their mistake and tried to put the land back together, it was too late. The land had already split into 7,000 islands, and the islands of the Philippines. And now, to understand you all about this story, I will now introduce the elements of the story, which is who is the characters, where's the places have been doing, the theme of the story, the symbolism, the meaning of the things that's been done, and lastly, the moral lesson of this story. Now, let's proceed to the first one, the characters. The first character there is the prehistoric bird, the clever, scheming, and the main instigator of the conflict. The sky, the powerful, emotional, and quick to anger when deceived. And there is water, the sensitive, easily provoked, and equally strong as the sky. And lastly, the great mass of land, the silent victim of the quarrel, the representing the Philippines before it split. And now let's proceed to the fifth settings. The story takes place in ancient times before the Philippines exists. The environment includes the great sky, the vast waters, and one large landmass is also belong to the setting. And now the theme. The theme was the destructive of power of conflict and misunderstanding. The creation and origin of the Philippine Islands, and the consequences of deception. Now, in symbolism, the prehistoric bird symbolized as symbol of selfishness, trickery, and desire for freedom, while sky and water represent powerful natural forces that can either work in harmony or cause destruction. And lastly, the breaking of the land, symbolize of change, transformation, and the origin of the Philippine archipelago. And now, in our moral or lesson of the story is that misunderstandings and conflicts often caused by lies can bring destruction. Cooperation and unity are always better than rivalry. And even negative events can lead to the creation of something new and meaningful. Now, in conclusion, the legend of why does the Philippines have 7,000 islands is more than just a tale of a giant bird and a broken landmass. It reflects how our ancestors used imagination to explain natural wonders like the countless islands of our country. The story also teaches us values such as patience, respect for nature, and appreciation of the blessings we have today. So, through this legend, we are reminded that every island in the Philippines carries not just beauty but also a story worth telling. So, I hope this discussion inspired you to value our rich folklore and continue to preserve it for the next generations. And once again, everyone, I am Abel Birot. Thank you for listening, everyone, and I hope you enjoyed learning about this wonderful legend. Goodbye and see you again next time.